A very good morning to you. Watching the Channel M Breakfast Show on Tuesday, the 27th of January. I'm Nikki Dean.
And I'm Byron Evans, I think.
And you are.
Good.
I think. There are two chaps that are going head-to-head as well.
There are,
Obama and Noel Gallagher.
We were talking about award ceremonies this morning, the success of a Slumdog Millionaire at the SAG Awards, Screen Actors Guild. We were looking at Sports for All awards, community awards for sport communities within Greater Manchester. But a great Mancunian is battling with the most powerful man on the planet. Barack Obama and Noel Gallagher are going head-to-head at the NME Awards, which take place on February the 25th for the Hero of the Year moniker. Now, Oasis are nominated for 7 awards, including Best Band, Best Live Act, Best Blog. Noel's up for Best Dressed, I think, as well.
Wow.
But that's the biggie, the Hero Award. Who would you vote for?
Well, it's amazing just the longevity that Oasis have had, that they're still around. I'm still a little bit perplexed as to why Obama would be there. I thought that they had to have some sort of link to music.
The greatest respect. I mean, but Obama's just got into office. Hasn't actually done anything yet.
He's not, but I think the two are probably in two.
Come on, Noel, if you're watching, because we know that you do. We hope you get the award.
Yeah, it's been a good month, lad, and all that. Still to come on the show every 30 minutes. We've got all the latest traffic, travel news and weather. And later on in the show, we'll be celebrating this week's Chinese New Year.
In a few minutes, sports headlines with Mike Bradley, plus MEN's Kevin Feddy. We'll be talking business. But first, the latest news stories with James Webster.
Good morning. These are Tuesday's main headlines. A building that's been on fire overnight in Ancoats has been declared unsafe. The mothballed Sarah Village development on Jersey Street caught light just after 10 o'clock last night, and more than 50 firefighters had to be called in. Flames are still burning in the basement of the site, and several roads have had to be cordoned off nearby. Emergency crews are worried some gas cylinders on site could be in danger of exploding. Investigators have yet to work out how it started. Images of 49 people wanted over the rioting involving Rangers fans here in Manchester last year will be released later. An estimated 150,000 Rangers supporters travelled to the city for their UEFA Cup final match against Zenit St Petersburg last May. Trouble broke out when a screen in Piccadilly that was supposed to show the match broke down before kick-off, with hooligans hurling bottles and fighting. Health experts and politicians are hitting out at a nightclub in Oldham for a $5.99 all-you-can-drink promotion. Customers pay once at the Tokyo to get their first bottle of lager or Alco Pops, which they then exchange for a full one when it's empty. Whiskey and vodka are also in the deal. A series of events are taking place to mark Holocaust Memorial Day. People will mark the killing of millions of Jews by Nazi Germany at the Imperial War Museum in Trafford Park later.
We've had some klezmer musicians in the gallery today. We've had some short gallery talks looking at some of the displays that we've got that link to the Holocaust. And we'll also have a talk later on looking specifically at children's experiences of the Holocaust. So quite a range, really, of events and activities for people to help mark the day.
The talk I'm giving is one which tries to maybe look at an angle of the Holocaust that we don't normally expect. I think the story of the Holocaust is often seen to be a story of death and destruction, and of course it is that, but it's also a story of life, I think, that Jewish communities created lives within the ghettos and camps and sought to try and make the most of terrible circumstances. So I'm going to look at what people remember of that past, the kind of jokes that kids told, the games they played, the ways that the community tried to allow for some sort of normality to exist in the ghettos, and the ways that the Jews themselves resisted the Nazi destruction.
A widower from Timperley is starting a 3,000-mile adventure in honour of his dead wife, who shared his love of caravans. Donald and Aileen Taylor were married for 53 years before her death from cancer, and in that time toured 15 countries in their beloved vehicles. Well, now he's planning on visiting 121 campsites in aid of Christie's Hospital.
Well, the trip is to raise funds for cancer research. It's in commemoration of my wife's life. Also, it's to prevent, or attempting to prevent, ladies going through what my wife went through to fight this disease. The memories up here, this is to celebrate her life. I don't want anybody to be sad about her, I want her to remember as she was, always smiling, even though in pain, always fighting, even though she was frail. And I think that was the main thing. I never realised how beautiful she was, because it was that challenging side of that she gave all the time, and that's what I liked.
That's all from me so far this morning. I'll be back with the Channel M lunchtime news at 12 noon, and don't forget to join Andy Crane at 5 tonight for all the latest from across Greater Manchester. Now, though, the weather comes from Michelle.
Anyway. Sorry, James, you've got me instead. No weather, but instead we've got the sport. It's on, it's off, it's on, it's off. Bit like Prince Harry's love life. Ricky Hatton, though, is finally getting his time in the ring against Manny Pacquiao.
Glad to see MEN media lawyers will be busy once again. It's signed, sealed and delivered. Hatton's not actually signed a contract yet, but his lawyer, Williams, has, and that's signed, sealed, delivered for May the 2nd, the MGM Grand Casino in Las Vegas. Who's going to be the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world? Pacquiao's coming off probably a career-defining win. Yeah. Hatton is still in Mayweather denial. Well, I certainly feel it will be. It's going to be as billed as nowhere to finish, really, because whoever loses is going to be looking at the end of their career. Let's hope it's not Ricky. We've written Ricky off in the past and he's bounced back, so maybe
you have.
Maybe we should write him off and he'll come back strong again this time.
We'll have to see. Yeah, we'll have to see.
Good luck to him anyway.
Indeed, right. OK, the transfer window is still ajar, so more speculation and rumours are right.
It's still ajar. Robbie Keane looks like he could be on his way back to Spurs. You know, he's fallen out with the Anfield hierarchy, although there's a club not far from here interested in signing him as well. Guess who that is?
Wigan.
Manchester City, probably the 132nd player they've been linked with in January. AC Milan want to keep Beckham. He's on a 3-month loan deal. That runs out at the end of March. They want to sign him until the end of their season. Who play for Tony Adams at the minute? It looks like Real Madrid striker Javier Zaviola and Brazilian midfielder Emerson are both heading to Portsmouth on loan. And if that happens, then we will have to think of a forfeit, because I just can't see that one happening. Wigan have been told by Cardiff they're going to have to fork out £6 million for Joe Ledley. On Blackburn, after the 6'8" Slavian Nikola Zajkic, who plays for Racing Santander. And Cristiano Ronaldo has revealed he'd like to meet his sporting idol, which is Tiger Woods, although his driving is that bad he's thrown his clubs away.
Oh! OK, well, speaking of golf, you had news on the new Ryder Cup captain, sorry.
New Ryder Cup captain, yeah, the Ryder Cup is in Wales next year, 2010, down at the Celtic Manor. The organising committee are meeting in Dubai at the moment. 2 names are up for the captaincy. Perceived wisdom goes for Jose Maria Olazabal. He's got the contacts, he's got the everybody, all the players love playing for him. The second favourite is Colin Montgomery, unbelievable, Mr. Personality himself. If he's named captain on Wednesday, put your money on us losing the Ryder Cup next year, because they won't do it with him at the helm.
OK, then just a quick note before we go. We can't go into detail, but United up against West Brom tonight. United, top versus bottom.
Top versus bottom. West Brom haven't scored against any of the top 4 this season. They've got 9 players out injured. It's United's game in hand. They will finish this evening 3 points clear of Liverpool in the Premier League. OK, so from the pitch to the rink, and after a run of defeats, can Manchester Phoenix pull back a win? As you say, it was 5 defeats on the trot. They played Cardiff at the weekend. Let's see how they got on.
You know, it's feeling good, especially getting the win tonight. Last night was a little bit of a letdown, but, you know, you get 3 points out of a weekend when you're facing 2 really tough teams. It's really good for our organization, good for the team. Feel good about it. Get some ice in again next week, and I think every game is going to start feeling a little bit better. Obviously, I'd like to be putting some more points up on the board. I haven't done that yet, but I feel like contribute on other ways, blocking shots, penalty killing. Obviously, first 2 games back, had a couple of tussles, trying to get some energy for the team. We need the points, we need some goals, so hopefully I can get that in the next couple of games coming up.
Time now for today's business news stories with MEN's Deputy Business Editor Kevin Feddy and Director of NetSource Executive James Lindeman. Thank you very much to both of you coming in this morning. Kevin, I think we'll start with you, if I may. And you've got some good news for us this morning.
Some good news for a change, Nick. Yes, PZ Cussons, the Stockport-based manufacturer of Imperial leather, Carex and Original Source and other personal care products, they've announced some half-year results today. Their profits are up 13.5% at £36.9 million, which is a very strong performance. They are, of course, a great local business, a Manchester Evening News Business of the Year award winner just a few months ago. And they're investing very heavily in Manchester with a £26 million innovation centre, which is coming online shortly.
Were those figures expected?
They were expected to do very well. They're slightly ahead of the expectations from the market, and thanks to a very strong performance in the UK and Nigeria, which is one of its major trading areas.
Interesting. Fantastic news for a local business, as you say. Another local company reporting healthy profits is local coach company Shearings.
Yes, now Shearings are based in Wigan, 3,000 people employed nationally. They run 49 hotels. We're a big hotel operator in this country and, of course, most famous for their coach holidays. Profits are around £5 million. They would have been much higher, though, had it not been for the falling value of the pound against the euro. A lot of their holidays are in Europe, and they've had to buy and publish their brochure prices earlier in the year, and when the pound declined, the euro strengthened. Of course, they lost out.
And is that likely to increase as the rise of the retro holiday, if you like? Buckets and spades at the ready, we're all going to be visiting UK seaside towns.
Well, fear of unemployment and the recession, credit crunch, and also the falling value of the pound is meaning a lot of people are going to be taking their holidays in the UK this year. In fact, where some estimates are that 4 million people extra, in addition to normal, will be holidaying in the UK this summer, and that should boost Shearing's performance in the UK with their hotels and their coaches here.
Excellent news. Now, James Lindeman, thank you very much for joining us this morning. You're here to talk about your company, NetSource Executive. Yeah. You're seeing growth in a particular area of your business, aren't you? Tell us a bit more about it.
I mean, traditionally we've been NetSource Executive has been IT and telecoms. So, but about a year and a half ago, we saw an emerging market in the renewables sector. It's been certainly with the government investing heavily in the sector with the Kyoto Agreement to reach certain targets. We started to get more requirements in the green sector, white-collar workers, both UK and Europe, and onshore and offshore wind developments certainly reaching, for us, a positive step in the right direction, definitely.
And this has been by far the biggest growth area of your company, hasn't it, as you just said there. Do you expect for this to continue? You mentioned there about the Kyoto Agreement and people moving towards this renewable energy. Do you expect then over the next couple of years that this will grow and grow?
I hope so. Certainly we're finding it not just in the UK but Europe as well. There is a certain need. There's transferable skills, obviously. It's not just people all of a sudden becoming a renewable energy professional, so there are transferable skills. Telecoms professionals who are used to putting up the masts, who have faced resistance in the past from communities, they've been able to transfer their skills into the development of wind farms. So we're finding it certainly at the moment, I hope so, to continue a steady growth, definitely.
Excellent news. And Kevin, as you were saying a little bit earlier, as the announcement of yet more job cuts across numerous sectors, and this could perhaps be good news for people who are job hunting at the moment, as you mentioned, a lot of transferable skills. I
think that's right. There's another sector that's also similarly benefiting from a lot of public spending, government spending to the public sector. So hopefully we'll see some people getting opportunities in that area as well.
Let's hope so. Well, thank you very much for coming in with some good news for us this morning for a change. And James, best of luck with the business in the future.
Thank you very much indeed, appreciate it.
Thank you. If you've got any comments on any of today's stories, you can email the Breakfast team at breakfast@channelm.co.uk, or of course you can text us 88821, start with the word show. Leave your name and where you're from and we'll announce your views live on air. Time now for a quick break. Coming next, we'll be celebrating this week's Chinese New Year with some Chinese food. Yum yum.